will.
You got the Acorn people here that are talking about it, like the preacher here.
Yes.
You looked good yesterday on Good Morning America. You keep talking about the working poor now and the problems of education and health care in our nation. I really appreciate what you're doing. My mom loved you.
Oh, thank you.
She loved you to death.
I want to thank you for that. Thank you very much. I think we're going to keep moving, guys.
We're still working with, well, the state attorney general did what we wanted to do. So that would kind of put the burden out on the city possibility. But we'll see how it works. Because he may or may not,
Okay. Been through it. So you go through all that and you survive it. Hi, Zach.
Hey, Acorn.
Councilman Reed, Senator was real good last week out at the hotel. Good to see you again.
Great to see you.
All right. How you been? Shaping up. Real thank you.
We're going to keep working with you.
Oh, yeah. Right. You look good in New Orleans this morning, too.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And took good care of you, boy.
Yeah,
About 4 minutes, Senator.
Good.
Oh, man.
I'm glad. I hope they were paying attention to the problems that people are facing.
Oh, they were. Yeah. Oh, man. Your quote, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
That went on across the country.
Yes.
In the basement of St. Matthew.
So good to see you. Great to see you again. Very good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Glad to be here.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Kind of makes you feel like we're in a foreign place, you know. When we grew up, it was something called accountability, personal responsibility, things that we had as integrity. They seem like they don't exist with these people. They go to bed at night like they've done nothing.
Nothing wrong, yeah.
Oh, I've got a new car, I've got a new house. Well, what about the 87-year-old grandmother that you put out to get that?
And just think about me. I had work put in my house. I had over $5,000 in windows put in. I had it lead abated because my kids were lead poisoned.
Yeah.
And I had a brand new furnace put in. And then all of this here came. All of this came about. So,
Y'all come up here.
Senator, thank you for your time.
Can you give us just a minute, please?
My name is Mariah Crenshaw. I'm a victim of predatory lending, but I'm also a person who is part of this community who is not willing to stand by and let these companies continue to rape and plumage us over here, and especially for things that could be worked out. People who want to pay their mortgages, who want to have nice homes, are being stripped, especially elderly African Americans who don't have the strength to be able to fight back. But there are some of us who do have the strength and the courage to tell these companies that we're not going to continue to allow them to take away what our parents and our grandparents have worked for. And I'm saying that as a mother and as a grandmother who is really diligent about keeping what I have, what's left, to give to my kids as an inheritance.
Tell them how long you've been living in your house.
I've been in that house since 1970. That was my mother's house. That house means a lot to me because I watched my mother, as single parent, raise 3 children. Blood, sweat, and tears went into that house. And since she passed, my blood, sweat, and tears have gone into that house. And I'm not about to stand by and let these predators continue to do what they're doing. They are in for a fight from me concerning my home and this community. Senator?
Can I just say a couple of things, and then I'll be happy to take all your questions. I wanted to thank Mariah, first of all, for being with me today, Acorn for all the work that they've done, and Mariah for having the strength to stand up and speak out. Speak out not just for herself, but to speak out for all these others who have been victims in this neighborhood. This is a working, middle-class neighborhood. She just told me there are 38 houses in a 1-block radius in foreclosure. This is wrong. This is not complicated. It's wrong. And these people are being taken advantage of. They've been working all their lives, And what's happened is the very thing that they work for, their homes, and those children we just passed back there, are going to be kicked out of their homes. All because these predators have come into this neighborhood and taken advantage of them. So I'm proud of you standing up and speaking out. I want to say a few things about what I think we can do about this, because I think there are things we can do, things that I will do as president. One is we need a national predatory lending law, not a state predatory lending law, not a local predatory lending law, but an aggressive national predatory lending law, so that these predators can't move from one state to the other to take advantage of lax regulation and lax laws. The second thing we ought to have is we ought to have, and the councilman was talking about this just a few minutes ago, we ought to have a home rescue fund, a national home rescue fund, to make sure that when people who are responsible, who've been working hard, get in trouble, they can in fact save their home. That's what this is about. This gentleman we just spoke with back here is going to lose his home over $3,200. He's been working for the school system here for 25 years. His wife has been working in the school system for many years. This is a couple that doesn't know anything but work, and they're about to lose what they've spent their lives trying to accumulate, over $3,200. Now luckily, councilmen and others are trying to help, but this is not something that should have to be done at the local level. We need a national home rescue fund. And then finally, when bankruptcy becomes necessary and the value of the home has become less than the value of the mortgage, that difference needs to be protected. We need bankruptcy reform to ensure that if the home's worth $100,000 and the mortgage is now worth $120,000, people can get some relief for that difference. So those are the basic ideas. I also, and this is not new, I also have proposed in the past that we put a cap on payday lenders on the interest they can charge. Payday lenders are charging 3, 4, 500% interest. It ought to be capped at 36%. They can't make a living at 36%. They ought to be doing something else. And none of them, and by the way, none of them are charging 36%. They're all in triple digits. So we need to do something about the payday lenders who are also stripping away assets. I will just mention, because I know a lot of you will be traveling with us later, later in the day I'm going to also be focusing on what we can do to economically integrate our public schools. We've had a lot of focus, rightfully so, on racial integration of our public schools, but I think we also need economic integration of our public schools. So we want to provide help to some suburban schools who will bring young people in from the inner city, and we want to create magnet schools in the inner city to attract students of all kinds into those magnet schools. So I'll be talking about that in more detail later, but this morning we want to focus on what's been happening in the raping of these families in this neighborhood.